I expect the Cowboys to win fairly easily, to be honest.
Yeah, what did I say?
You said the Cowboys as well.
That's what I thought I said.
I think it's going to be maybe 26-10, something like that.
I think Broncos have got more points in them than that. I think they can score some points. Maybe slightly closer, maybe 30 points to 24.
I think the Cowboys have switched on to finals football more than the Broncos are.
I think the Cowboys are going to win.
Then the second game on Saturday is the Raiders versus the Panthers.
Well, I want the Raiders to win.
Me too, yeah.
So, that's why I picked them. And I think they will do. I think they've got enough, even though they're going to be missing Josh Hodgson. I think they've still got enough to beat the Panthers, all things being equal, and set up another fixture against the criminal Sharks.
I'm going to go with the Panthers.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Do you want them to, or just because you
I would prefer the Raiders to win.
Right.
I've enjoyed watching the Raiders all year. I think both of these teams can be quite exciting in attack.
Yeah.
And both of these teams can make mistakes in defence, which actually means this game might well be the more entertaining of the two. But just because of Hodgson, I think is absolutely vital. So if you're missing your best player, and I would say that the Raiders are missing their best player.
Are they not missing their two best players? Because Blake Austin isn't around, is he?
Blake Austin might play.
Might be back. Right.
Didn't he play this week?
I thought he was injured still.
Well, anyway, there's more chance of Austin playing, I think, than
Hodgson.
And Hodgson's their best player.
Yes,
I would argue anyway. So the Panthers aren't missing their best players. So I'm going to go with the Panthers.
Well, we shall see. Right, exciting times. So. That's the Super League pod for this week. All that remains for us to do now is to wrap up the show. Well, it's turned into a marathon Super League pod. I think the news this week got us into potential record territory. I don't think we've quite beaten our longest show, have we, Mark? But it's been it's
our longest for a while,
lengthiest for some time, hasn't it?
And we flew through the matches as well, really.
Yeah, there's just been
we stumbled a bit on the Leeds Batley match, going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, and now we're performing an autopsy on the show, so that's only going to serve to add to its length, isn't it? What have we got? SLP recommends this week, then, Mark. I've got two. I've got two, and you've got three.
My three are all related.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to start then. In that case, I'm going to start by recommending, as is my want, a TV show called The Night Of. It's on Sky Atlantic at the minute. You can download it on box set. It is one of the best things I've watched on TV in quite some time.
Synopsis:
young lad, Muslim American, goes on a night out where he encounters a lass, and he and this lass engage in the sorts of behaviour that you would expect young people to engage in: drinking, drugs, sex, and then a dead body is discovered, and it goes from there. And it's about this lad being accused of a crime and how that's then resolved, and the court case, and the stories that you can eke out from that in terms of how brilliant, how we can view, people of different cultures, and the things that I liked about it. First of all, the performance of John Turturro, who's one of my favourite actors. He's in it and he's brilliant. Riz Ahmed is in it, who it took me ages to remember where I knew his face from, and he's in Four Lions, the lad, but he's playing it straight in this one. He's very, very good. He's one of the lead characters in it too, but the other thing I like about it is the way it's shot. And it's one of those things, it's set in New York, and it's one of those things when New York almost becomes a character in the film, and the director of photography in it, it's a work of art. It's just, there's times where some of the shots and the angles that they get and the way they use light in setting it up is beautiful. It's a work of art at times.
Right.
It's wonderful, and it's paced beautifully. It doesn't play for thrills. It tells its story very deliberately and leads you through it, so it's just very enjoyable to watch, and
worth getting on then.
Absolutely, yeah. You can grab it on box set on Sky Atlantic, and you're listening in another country, I'm certain you'll be able to pick it up from some version of your HBO provider.
Cool.
The Night Of, really, really good.
Okay.
And the other thing I want to recommend this week is Bluetooth earphones, Mark.
Yeah.
I invested in a pair, and they're cool as shit, and I love them.
Yeah, so it turns out I've got the exact same headphones as you've got.
What a weird little coincidence as well. I picked them up off Amazon for about 15 quid, 14 quid, somewhere in there. And Yeah, all I'd do is if you're on the cusp of investing in some Bluetooth earphones, do it. It's brilliant, and there's no wires. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is good that you like when you're moving around, you don't feel like if your phone's in your pocket, you're going to sort of pull the cord out. Yeah.
Yeah, I had them on the other day. I was cleaning the house and I had my phone on charge, and I was wandering around the house with them on, so I didn't even need my phone in my pocket. It was just playing my music into my ears.
Right.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
So it's only a little thing, but if you're on the fence about Bluetooth headphones, I'd say it's worth the investment.
Yeah, I'm on board too.
There you go. Right, what have you got for us?
Right, my stuff are all related to the NFL with the season starting this weekend. We've talked a bit about you picking a team. A few other of our listeners have started to get involved. I think it was Tyler the other day who went through a little game where you pick a team and that sort of stuff. So I've got some recommendations around that, basically.
Cool.
So there's a book that I read a year or so ago, but it's really good. It gives a good level of detail for people who want to learn more about the game. So if you're a casual fan but want to get more involved in understanding how American football works, the book is called Take Your Eye Off the Ball.
Right.
I think the guy who wrote it's called Pat Kerwin, but it's got a really good level of detail. It sort of takes you through how to watch a game to understand what all the different positions are supposed to be trying to do.
That will come in handy for me, actually.
They've brought out an updated version recently, or a second version, which I've not had a look through yet. I'm reluctant to buy it in case it really is just a modernisation of some of the bits of like what type of plays people might run, just because I know all that stuff now anyway.
Yeah.
The other thing is a podcast. It's called Around the NFL. It's produced by NFL Media, hosted by basically four of the main writers for the NFL.com website.
Right.
So you get all your news. There's a little bit of humour in there and stuff. And actually, it's probably the podcast that I listen to the most. They have 3 episodes a week.
Wow.
And it's probably they probably do about the same length over the 3 episodes in total, though, so we do in one. But yeah. So you can get on that. They normally have a show out on a Monday, a Thursday, and a Friday, I think it is now.
Right.
But I'm not sure, it changes around. But anyway, it's worth a go. And then finally, the last thing is a radio show. It airs on Tuesday nights at 10 PM, so after you've finished listening to the Super League pod, get out your digital devices and tune into TalkSport 2. And it's the NFL show with Nat Coombs. Now, Nat Coombs is the guy who used to present the Channel 4 coverage of the NFL. Now all the TV coverage is on Sky, but he used to host the Channel 4 coverage of that. And he used to host a podcast called Americanage, which, to be honest, as much as This Week in League, without Americanage, this podcast wouldn't have existed either. Because that was the podcast that broke me into listening to podcasts in the first place. That podcast is no more because the different people who contributed to it have had other commitments, this being one of them. Nat Coombs got a contract with TalkSport to do a lot more stuff. He hosts like international football shows and that sort of stuff. But this is on a Tuesday night at 10 PM. He has really good guests on, and it's a good show.
Hey, there you go.
And I understand my tweet was read out on the show last week, but after I fell asleep, so in the second half of the show, because Mike Donnelly texted me the next day to say about it.
Out. Yeah. Congratulations. Did you not listen back?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Congratulations on being read out on another show. Superb. Right. Next week then, what we're looking for from people?
Well, we want to know about what they want us to do with the SLPies, really. That's the main thing. Tweet us at SuperLeaguePod, send us messages on Facebook.com/SuperLeaguePod, and email superleaguepod@gmail.com. Also, if you're picking up the podcast through iTunes or through Spreaker or however, leave a comment for us on either Spreaker or a review on iTunes. That'd be great. And just keep sharing it like you have been doing, guys, because we really appreciate it. It's giving us numbers, listener numbers that we're really pleased with in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And so that's great to see that continuing. And I'm so much going to be busy at work, I think, this week that I don't believe I'll be able to do much publicising the show anyway.
Right, okay. Well, I have the weekend off and no plans, so my intention is to watch a lot of rugby league and get involved chatting to you a lot over Twitter.
Oh, next weekend, throwing it that far ahead, yeah.
Yeah, this weekend coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Be cool.
Right, well, it's been a long one. we're off to record our little bit for This Week in League. So if you're an Australian fan, you'll hear us in a few days as well on Wednesday. But otherwise, we'll see you back here next time for episode 118 of the Super League Pod.